Alright, another Miguel's Workshop video here. Another straight razor, and this one came in two separate boxes. Neither of them match the razor, so we don't have another 73-year-old box. But the top part's German, so small miracles. This one's quite cool because the handle is in really good condition, and so is the razor. There's some pitting and rust, etc., but whatever. But there's a big chip on the end. Now, if you've got some of the right tools and you kind of know what you're doing, this isn't a big deal to repair, but it's there. Now, if it was anywhere else on the razor, this would be destroyed. You really can't grind up a hollow grind. So if it was in the middle, you'd have to sort of grind up, and what you'd end up is just something that's so thick. You might get away with it if it's a tall enough razor, but it's quite unlikely. But it does have, let's see if I can get this to focus, some really cool little engravings. I've never seen these on razors before, but this is really cool. You can see that horrible orange rust, but orange rust is actually good because it's surface. If you're going to have rust on something, make it orange rust. There's the maker's mark. So, first thing to do is just draw out what we're going to do. Basically going to lose about ½ centimeter off of this thing. So we're going to regrind the profile here. And because it's a hollow grind, it doesn't matter if and this is the tools that I was talking about. There's a 2x72 belt grinder, homemade of course, outside, because when the sun's out, this is the best place to put the damn thing. It makes so much mess. But it really isn't going to take much to do this. If you're going to do something like this with power tools though, you need to be really careful because these things are so thin, they'll heat up faster than you could think. You'll take your eye off it for a second and it will turn blue, and once it's blue, you really have to grind off all of the blue. The reason for that is that you've overhit the steel and the temper is now ruined, and that part is going to be too soft to hold a proper edge. I mean, straight razors are quite soft anyway, despite what you might think, but... And I've got my own straight razor there to sort of try and match the profile. But it didn't take all that much. That was only maybe 10 minutes work. And now I'm going to refine it a bit with stones and be done with it. And that's all it took. So I didn't know anything about... It's not a Sheffield razor, this thing is German. And I didn't know anything about it really. But apparently the Dorco company was established in 1920, which is quite late for straight razor companies actually, by Frederick Dalton, hence Dorco. And there really isn't anything more interesting in it to say about the company, really. It's just a straight razor company that made straight razors in the same city that everyone else made straight razors, but they're well regarded. It's a fantastic piece of steel though. You can tell when you work these things, it feels like paper. If it was kind of elastic, it's the only way I can describe it. A really nice razor. So I'll put some music over the rest of the polishing here. And next, I got something really cool, just completely out of the blue. And I swear there's an omen to these things. So when I started doing... really becoming a maker and starting to restore all the tools and use all the tools and machinery and things, one of the odd things that happens is suddenly you just find yourself with old tools and things that seem to make their way to you. Somebody's got an old drill press in their garage or something, they want you to have it. It just somehow, you end up accumulating a lot of tools. I mean, my two hand planes, I found them in an abandoned workshop that I happened to walk past. But this week, this was brought to me because the hospital was throwing it out, and it's from the Tam O'Shanter Razor Horn Company, and that was started in the 19th century. This thing is not this particular piece, but the company is over 200 years old, and it didn't shut until 2003. And the quarry was near the River Aire in Ayrshire, funnily enough. And that to me is just, it just sort of made its way to me after restoring a bunch of straight razors. There's an omen to these things. These old tools, they want to be used, and I don't know, they find a way to get to you. But of course, I'm going to start off with this aluminium oxide kind of soft stone. One of the things I tell you about the straight razor hone, and it even says on the box that it's a slow cut stone, but it cuts so slow. You can get a really fine edge. There's no chance of you going over the apex too much and kind of fighting against yourself. It's so slow and it's so hard. It just makes everything so easy once you get that final apex established. It makes everything so easy. And you'll hear the difference in the noise a natural stone makes compared to one of these aluminium oxides. It's like glass. It's wonderful. And you'll see it's taken me 20 passes just to move the bar. 20 passes. Now I did cut some of this out too, because there must have been about 400 passes. I was still trying to work out the stone. But I'm just going to leave the sounds of the razor on the stone here. Just listen to this. Nothing like it. Now, I'm not good enough at filming yet, but this thing is just firing hairs everywhere. You can't see it, but there they are. It's so sharp. And the sound of the thin razor going along that glass hard natural stone. I don't think you'll hear that many times. At least not nowadays. But I hope you liked the video, and you take care. And I'll see you in the next one.